Hello TBC people, and wow, I know it has been over a month since I last posted an actual short revolving around Lego. I posted something 2 days ago, so definitely check out my latest post. It reveals a lot about what I've been doing lately. It's sort of a side thing because mainly what I've been doing is school and I've had exams, so I've been trying to study a lot. But for the holidays, I'm trying to get back at Lego and try and make more videos for you guys again. So yeah, that should be pretty interesting. Now for today's video, I will be reviewing the Spinjitzu Master's wave of sets. Now if you guys may or may not remember, in my last holiday haul, I picked up one of these from overseas in a bookshop, and I was like, oh, I gotta get this. I didn't really get these back in the day. And so I think it'll be a really fun video to review one of these 4 years after their original release. I think it's been more than 4 years actually. They came out back in 2018 with the Sons of Garmon wave, and now is 2023. So yeah, definitely more than 4 years. But with all of the newer spinners that have come out since then, revolving around, Ninjago Legacy and just Ninjago Core in general, I thought it would be really interesting to compare these spinner ideas and just see which ones have sort of become better and how they've improved upon this original thing over time. But yeah, anyways, let's get started. Alright, and with everything built up, this is everything that we get in the set. So we get a weapon rack, Spinjitzu handle, the actual Spinjitzu itself, Calder minifigure, and the ripcord for the Spinjitzu operations. And so just moving all of this aside, let's get started with the weapon rack, since this was one of my favorite things at the time that you get in any Ninjago gimmick basically. You just get like a small weapon rack or something along those lines. And so starting off with this, you guys can see that they've tried to make it really reflective of Cole's element, which is something I really like. It uses a lot of slopes, a lot of sharp pieces to mimic the mountains and the way those look. But to me, it looks more like a volcano with its top lava piece here. It just looks like lava sort of coursing throughout the entire thing. And I think that's really cool. You guys can see it's angled forward, upward, and that just makes it look really, really neat. It looks like the lava's overflowing, which is something I really, really like again. And the points pieces here make a really cool effect where it looks like they're just coursing more and more lava into the tiles at the bottom. They've just used like 3 shades of color here. I would have preferred a bit more variation in the gray. I think the gray they've used is a bit boring. Like, this does not look like mountains to be just having such a uniform amount of dark gray and black. It just does not look very mountainous. I do like the silver spikes though. Those are pretty nice. And obviously it holds the weapon using the clip there. And the weapon itself is really, really generic in my opinion. But at the time, I think this was probably one of the newer Hammer designs they came up with. It uses a actual bar rod piece that they use for like toilet plungers and stuff. But basically it's got a stud on the bottom, and you guys can attach it to any studded brick tile piece, whatever you want to call it. But on top of it, it uses a headlight brick connected with trans orange pieces on either side, and then black pieces on either side of those trans orange pieces. And it's sort of made to look like more mountain. And so it fits in pretty well with the actual mini build. Let me zoom out a bit. Yeah, it looks pretty good with it. But again, I think that they should have added much more shading in this. It looks very two-dimensional, very boring in general. So yeah, I'm not too big a fan of that one. But for other ninjas like Jay, which is the only other one that I have, I think that they actually did really, really well with the weapons rack. They had like multiple shades of blues, they had multiple shades of silvers as well, and they had some pretty cool lightning pieces on the edges just to enhance that element. I think for Cole, they've just made it sort of more, I wouldn't say that they haven't tried as much, because with Cole, his element really is just off, so there's not much you can do with it. But yeah, definitely a lot more bland if you ask me. Moving on to the actual Spinjitzu itself. With the Spinjitzu Master setup, I guess, it's very similar to what Ejitsu used to do with their setup. It's a very similar shaping overall. They've just replaced the building techniques, but it still uses the same mechanism. And so I think it was a really good idea of them to create that in the past. It's a really well thought out one. It just requires the same ripcord, and that hasn't changed since the longest time. But this is a different ripcord to Chima's ripcords, by the way, in case you were wondering. So basically you just load that inside and then you pull out when you want to, but I'm not going to pull out just yet. just to have a closer look at the actual building. And so it's very smooth all around. Definitely contrasts the rocky feel. I would have liked if they personalized it towards the actual ninja, whoever had it. And so yeah, for this one, it's definitely just very smooth. To me, rock should be a lot more jagged, but that's just me. I know a lot of people like the smoother look of rock, but if they've already gone this far to make a lot more of a sloped angular design, I think they should have done the same with this one. Just replace these with cheese slopes and then you'd be good to go, like literally. There is nothing really separating this from the rest of the ninja except for the color scheme, which I think that this color scheme is probably one of the nicer ones. I think that Nia's is probably the worst one out of them, but yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I think that black and orange is a pretty cool combo, but obviously nice balance with gold, and I think the colors in these Spinjitzu Master sets just really did pretty well. But yeah, let's have a look at the actual Spinjitzu itself. Now obviously this is much larger than what Lego later comes up with in 2019 with their legacy spinners. So if I compare it to Cole there, you can see Cole is actually meant to fit into that little pauldron here. Let me show you. And so there's a little gap there that's just made for you to fit Cole into there. So while standing up with two shurikens, that's the only weapon he can hold. And then you close it up. It's a technic pin connection, so it's very, very secure. I can assure you that Cole will not be coming out unless the actual capsule itself breaks. I've had multiple of these, and these have never broken on me. Not yet. I've had an Air-Jitsu break on me, but this one, I think they've used thicker plastic material or better plastic material, but I think it's thicker just because Lego normally doesn't change what plastic material they use. But yeah, so they've added a lot of support here. Obviously, that's really good. So it won't bend during drops or anything. Like, this is really hard to bend. Like, even just without dropping it, just me trying to squeeze it, it's really hard to bend this. And to secure the little pauldron into here, you just put it in and twist it and click it. And then that goes into this area. And then the ripcord goes through here. Alright guys, so I've actually set up two cameras. I'm not sure if I'm using both. Oops. I'm not sure if I'm using both of them in the actual video, but I have set up two. I'll just show you the other one there. But yeah, I'm not really sure if I'll use that in the actual video. But to release the spinner out of the thing and make it go flying, all you need to do is pull the ripcord really quickly. So 3, 2, 1. But yeah, you guys get the idea. Oh, but one more thing I forgot to mention is that you guys can also use this sideways. And so in 3, 2, 1. You guys can see how that works. It pretty much stays on very stable the majority of the time. I haven't really had it sort of tip over unless I purposely tried to do it that way. So if you guys just hold it perpendicular or parallel to the table, sorry, or the ground, then it will probably stay rolling all the way. And it rolls quite a far distance as well, so pretty cool. And lastly, having a look at the minifigure for Cole himself, you guys can see that it is the Ninjago movie style cowl. And so I hated these things back in the day since they were two pieces and they were really annoying to get on and off. So you had to unsecure the entire head just to replace it for the headpiece. But it's just the Ninjago movie Cole face. It's got the angry face on one side and a pretty alright face on the other side. Now on the torso, I'm trying to get it into the light, but you guys can see that they've actually added a little bit of reflective printing. I'm not sure if you guys can see that too well, but yeah, there's definitely some reflective printing seen in the orange details coming out of his chest, and I always think that looks really cool. For Cole it works really well. For Nia and Zane it does not work really well. They chose really dull colors with theirs, and so it doesn't look as good. But with Cole I think it looks pretty cool. You guys can see that with his logo as well. And obviously sleeveless design, I know lots of people hate on this design, but for Cole I think it looks pretty darn good. And it matches in with his pants as well, which are generic throughout the entire line of Spinjitzu Master sets. They all had the same pair of legs, but with Cole, again, it just matches so well with his reflective printing that I think it's pretty nice. And so he has his silver shurikens as well. That's to put in the actual pauldron, but if you guys do want to have a look at him with the hammer, I will do that as well. And there he is with his hammer. It looks pretty good in my opinion. And that's him with the mask on and everything. So yeah, pretty cool. And having one final look at the instructions. Again, they are folded when they come in the box since the box is so small. But yep, on the back we have the Ninjago movie ad, since that did just come out at the time, the year before. Some Dave the Departed ads for Lego Life, I believe. I'm not sure if anyone still uses that. And then we have some more set ads. Legoland Discovery Center, Legoland itself for Ninjago the Ride, some advertisements for that. And then we have the sets itself. And so yeah, you guys can see there is that Kai symbol. That is the same one used on his spinner, and it's used in the sets as well. So that was always really cool to me. But Cole did not, unfortunately, get a vehicle this season, so that was pretty sad. But obviously, Sons of Garbodon Hideout, they had another Lloyd Spinjitzu there, and you guys can see cool tricks online, B Ninja stuff. There's Nia, no, that's Jay's one. That's the one I have. And there's some extra Ninjago merch if you want to spurge some extra money on that. I would not though. And these are just the ways to use the Spinjitzu Master apparatus itself. And these are the other sets, so yeah. The good one stands out for you, but I only like the Cole one and the J one. So how does this gimmick compare to the rest of the gimmicks that have come out since then and previous gimmicks before then? Well, in my opinion, this one definitely achieved the best playability out of any gimmick. Actually, no, that's a lie. I think the original Spinjitzu spinners, which were just these basic turn, like spinny tops, they had the best playability. It was very simple and it just worked. But in terms of ripcord, stuff like that, I think this one definitely achieved it the best, especially in playability. The Ninjago core spinners also got a ripcord, but it just does not work as well, in my opinion, since the shaping of the actual Spinjitzu is not as optimal for playing. But yeah, you guys can see that it rolls on its side. This one's able to roll on its bottom, and you can do it upside down as well, which is really, really cool, and something you definitely can't do with many of the rest. Air Jutsu is probably a close third, and the rest are just after that. So overall, this was a pretty good gimmick. I know lots of people like to throw dirt on it, just mainly because they didn't like the new Ninjago designs at the time, and it was a new sort of era for Ninjago. But I definitely do enjoy what came out of that era. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So if you like the content, please make sure to like and subscribe. I do definitely appreciate my fans who like and subscribe, or 120 of you at the moment. And definitely make sure to check out B-Sketcher if you want to learn more. Check out the post I released recently. It tells you a lot about what B-Sketcher is. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.